I have been trying to film this video for multiple days now, and I am determined to get this video up today because I am so excited for this video to talk about these new fragrances. I got them last week during the fragrance mist sale, which, by the way, that was an amazing sale. I hope we see more of those more often, and I even have my receipt here. So last week they had a body mist sale where all the body mists in store were on sale for 2 days for $4.95, but I still had a 25% off coupon, so I was able to add that on top of the sale price. And all of these mists, I got them for $3.71 each, which is an amazing deal because these mists now are $18.95. So because I was able to get it for that price, I ended up picking up all 10 from this collection. I didn't have that plan at first. I was just gonna go in and pick out a few of my favorites, but after reading the notes of a lot of these fragrances and smelling a few of them in store, I kept throwing them into my cart, and in the end, I decided to grab them all. So we do have quite a few new fragrances to talk about. I did pick up a few others during the sale, but I kind of just wanted to focus on these because there are so many new ones to talk about. The most exciting part about this collection is a lot of them are inspired by a lot of designer popular fragrances. A lot of fragrances that are some of the best sellers at Sephora, at Ulta, that are, 3-4 times the price. And me, I love a good dupe. I love a good inspired fragrance. I have so many already in my collection, but some of these scents I don't actually have dupes for. So it was really exciting to go through all of these and figure out which ones they're kind of inspired by. Some of these are almost spot on dupes to some perfumes, and then some of them I would say are more like inspired by. Like, they're not spot on, but they're definitely very similar to some other perfumes. I even pulled out some fragrance mists from past collections that I thought they might be similar to, just to give a better idea if you have any of these older scents in your collection, to have something else to compare it to. I have so many here laid out on my table. The first day that I got these, I went through all of the scents. I pulled out a bunch from my collection and was just trying to figure out what exactly these are closest to, at least from what I have in my collection. Okay, I just wanted to include this in here. I'm actually editing the video right now, and I realized I forgot to mention this. I don't know, for whatever reason, but I heard that a lot of stores actually aren't getting these mists in. I don't know why. I don't know if maybe eventually they're going to release them in more stores. They are currently available online. I think the official release date was either Monday or Tuesday, and that helps too. That way you're able to put in your location to see if there's any stores around you that may have it in stock. Just wanted to quickly include that. That way you're not wasting your time going in store. I would just check online first to see if there's any places around you that have these in stock. Real quick, I'll go over the packaging and whatnot and what they look like. I don't know what this style of bottle is because it looks kind of similar to the Faceted collection, but it's not exactly the same. So all the mists have the same packaging, they're just in different colors. I love all the red and pink tones, like these look so pretty, but there's just all different colors. There's purple, there's blue, there's more like nude colors. It's a nice range, and actually lined up, they all look so pretty together. So even though it is more of like a minimalist kind of simple packaging, I still think it looks really pretty. So I'm gonna start things off, not really in any particular order. I think at the end I'll narrow down to a few of my favorites. But yeah, we're just gonna jump right in and get started. This one actually is one of the ones I was most excited to try. This one is called Oh Cherry, and immediately whenever I saw this, I was like, is this gonna be a dupe for Lost Cherry? I do have a couple other Lost Cherry inspired fragrances in my collection, so I'm kind of familiar to what the original smells like, even though I don't personally own it. And this one, of course, beautiful red packaging. I love the look of this one. And this has notes of black cherry, sheer magnolia, and tonka bean. My first impression of this one, actually, this is kind of different than what I was expecting because I've smelled a lot of other Lost Cherry inspired fragrances, and they're all super rich and sweet, just very like deep cherries, almost like a cherry liqueur. And this actually is much lighter to me. It does have that sheer magnolia note, so I think the florals in there are just kind of helping tone this down, making it a little bit more wearable, especially if you're someone who doesn't normally wear cherry fragrances, or is just kind of wanting to get into them to see if you like them. I think this would be a good place to start because it's nothing overpowering. It's a very wearable scent in comparison to some of the other ones that I've tried. It still is sweet. I would still say this is a sweet fragrance, and you can still smell that cherry note. It's just more balanced out by some florals, and it just smells more like perfume-like rather than just like a heavy gourmand. So of course I pulled out a few other cherry scents from my collection. I have this one from Finery and Not Another Cherry, And this one I would say is pretty spot on to Lost Cherry. It is super sweet, very juicy. It smells so good. This is one of my favorites from Finery. They have this one in the body mist and also a perfume. This is like that deep cherry liqueur that I'm talking about. It's almost like this boozy cherry, perfect for like a date night type of scent. So whenever I compare these two together, I don't personally think they smell the exact same. This one is a lot sweeter. And I do also have Sweetheart Cherry, which this one is still currently at Bath & Body Works. This one smells so good. I love this one. It is super gourmand. It has this nice kind of nutty gourmand feel to it. It has wild cherry, crushed pistachio, and whipped vanilla. It almost kind of has this mixture of pistachio and almond. It's very nutty and sweet, and this to me smells like that deep dark cherry kind of juice. So honestly, I would say even if you already have the Sweetheart Cherry scent, I still think that you can still have both of these in your collection. Like, I think they're kind of different enough. Really, the only thing they have in common is that they're both cherry scents, but like I said, the Eau Cherry one has more florals that stand out to me, so it's a little bit lighter, while the Sweetheart Cherry I would definitely consider more of a gourmand. So I think of this more of like the daytime version and this one more of the night. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. I still love the Eau Cherry scent, even though it's not as sweet as I thought it would be, but I kind of like that. You know, I already have so many other sweet cherry scents in my collection. I have stuff that smells more similar to Lost Cherry, so this one is a nice little addition to my cherry fragrances. Okay, the next one I have here, this is another one that I was super excited for. I didn't even smell this one in store, to be honest. I just immediately threw it into my cart because I love vanilla scents. I already have so many vanilla scents in my collection, but anytime there's a new vanilla scent, especially from Bath & Body Works, I'm gonna grab it because I need to try it. And this one is called Viva Vanilla. Has notes of rich plum, glowing amber, and addictive vanilla. So those notes all together right there, it just sounds delicious, especially that addictive vanilla note. But this was one of the ones, you know, I could not pinpoint an exact dupe for this one. I pulled out so many from my collection. There were so many that were based off the notes that I thought this would be a spot on dupe for, but I don't know. For the scents that I have, I don't really have anything that's spot on to this one. It's not really sweet, I would say. Like, it still has that vanilla note, but it's done in a different way than I was expecting. It's not really a gourmand vanilla. That's kind of what I was expecting based off the notes, especially with addictive vanilla listed in there. I can for sure smell the amber in there. It's a lot of like this deeper vanilla note with amber, and honestly, I would have thought maybe like some type of woody note, like sandalwood, or I don't know what else. I just would have thought like something kind of woody. That's just kind of what I was getting from it. So a few that I did pull from my collection. At first, I tried out Vanilla Potion from True Fragrance. This one I got at Marshall's not too long ago. So I thought maybe it would be similar to this. I think these two would layer well together, but I don't think they're the exact same. This one is a little bit more of a sweeter vanilla, actually. So then I pulled this one from Sol de Janeiro, and this I thought would be spot on because the notes are actually very similar. It has a black amber plum note and also vanilla woods. But whenever I smell these side by side, that's when I can really smell a difference. And how I thought Viva Vanilla had a woody note, whenever I compare it to the Sol de Janeiro one, like, no, this is a straight up like woody vanilla. So even though they do have very similar scent notes, for some reason they don't really smell that similar to me. I also compared it to Bare Vanilla Untamed, and this was the type of vanilla scent I thought the Viva Vanilla was going to be, but Bare Vanilla is much sweeter. This is more of like a vanilla extract. Bare Vanilla is just the perfect layering vanilla scent. It just smells so good. But yeah, Bare Vanilla, even the Untamed version is still a lot sweeter. So not really a spot on match either. And then the last one that I pulled, this one is Ballet Nights. This one came out not too long ago. I think it was during the winter semi-annual sale right around then. And this one has notes of wild plum, glowing amber, and tonka cream. You know, I thought I liked this scent whenever I first got it, but one day it just triggered, ooh, I don't even want to smell that too long, but it triggered a migraine. I don't know if it was because of this scent specifically or if I was just getting a migraine already, but ever since then I haven't really picked it up since. I think for me, it's just a little bit too heavy on the amber note. Like, I like an amber note in fragrances, but this one is just like next level. It's a little bit too strong for me. As far as what I can tell so far, Viva Vanilla, from what I have in my collection, is a pretty unique vanilla scent. So even though it's different than I expected, I still really like it. It definitely smells a lot more high-end and expensive than what it is. So I like this one. I would definitely layer it with something like Bare Vanilla or even the Vanilla Potion perfume. I think either one of those would smell great and just kind of make this a little bit sweeter. All right, next up we have is Pink Obsessed. And for one, I love the packaging. I love the name. This one has notes of blushing jasmine, cashmere praline, and vanilla bourbon. The notes on this, they just sound so good. And immediately, if you have tried this specific perfume, then yeah, this is a spot on dupe. Whenever you smell this, this one smells exactly like Valentino Donna Born in Roma. This is actually one of my favorite perfumes. I use this one very often, and this smells exactly like it. Like this, I would say, is the most spot on dupe so far. I don't know, based off the name, like Pink Obsessed, it makes me think of something very... It just makes me think of something very girly and sweet. Like this is a sweeter perfume. Well, I don't know. I would have thought like maybe like a fruity sweet floral or something with the name like Pink Obsessed. I mean, it doesn't really matter what the name is. That's just kind of what I thought of whenever I first saw the bottle. But 100% these are super, super similar. So if you've always wanted to try this perfume, or even if you already have it in your collection, I love that there's now a body mist to layer with the perfume so you don't have to spray as much of this because, you know, it is more expensive. But oh my God, this one smells so good. I know the Valentino is a very popular perfume, so I can see this one selling out pretty quickly because it is such a spot on dupe. I also love layering Pure Wonder with Valentino, so now I have another fragrance to layer along with it. But yeah, this one for sure is a favorite of mine. Definitely made its way to the top of my list out of this collection. The next one I have here, I love the bottle on this one. I love the color and everything. This one is called Floral Fantasy. Has notes of peach osmanthus. I always get tongue-tied whenever I try to say that. Jasmine and warm patchouli. I can think of a few scents that this one reminds me of. One of the first ones I thought of actually is from Victoria's Secret. It's one of my favorite flankers of teas. This one is the Tease Candy Noir. It smells so, so good. I love this perfume. It is like sweet and powdery and floral. I actually love layering this one with Into the Night. But now that I have this one in my collection, I'm definitely going to be putting these two together. And another scent out there that it smells really similar to, I think, is Flower Bomb. I haven't worn Flower Bomb in such a long time. I have this bottle here, but I just haven't picked it up in a while because I was wearing it. Like I had another bottle of it that I went through. Then I got this one. I don't know, I guess I just wore it so much that I kind of took a break from it and then I forgot about it. Now going back and smelling this Floral Fantasy actually smells really similar. Even though Bath & Body Works already has a scent that's very, very similar to Flower Bomb. It's called Sensual Amber. It's been around forever. It's one of the retired fragrances. But yeah, I would put Sensual Amber, Flower Bomb, and this new one, Floral Fantasy, all under the same scent category. Like they all smell pretty similar. But I know Flower Bomb is such a loved perfume. It's been around forever. I think it's been one of the top selling perfumes for a long time. So this one is probably going to be another popular one. I really like it. I think it smells really, really sweet. Just a great layering fragrance, especially if you have any of those other perfumes. This layered with it is just, it's gonna smell so good. It's gonna help your scent last even longer throughout the day, just to be able to go crazy and spray pretty much your whole body, your clothes, everything with the mist. Okay, up next, this is one that I almost didn't grab because I do have several other scents in my collection that smell similar, like nothing's the exact, but I do have similar scents already in my collection. And this one is Getaway Sor. Has notes of Sunkissed Mandarin, Tuberose, and Solar Musk. I do like the bottle. Like the color on this is beautiful. I mean, whenever you smell this, this is so beachy. This is like vacation in a bottle. And I think what they were going for with this one is Tom Ford Soleil Blanc, which I do have the mini travel size version. This perfume I was not a fan of in the beginning. Whenever I first tried it, I did not like this scent. It did take a little while, like for me wearing it a couple times to grow to love this scent, mainly because I wasn't a big fan of the opening. But now that I've worn it several times, I really do like this one. But even though I think this is supposed to be inspired by Soleil Blanc, I don't think they're exact. They're very similar in the way that they both smell very beachy, but I do think there are differences for sure. The Soleil Blanc is a lot more fresh, while Getaway Sor is it's actually a little bit sweeter. Like it's still very fresh and beachy, but I think that tuberose note adds a little bit of sweetness. So I do have a couple others that I pulled from my collection that I just wanted to compare it to in case you already have these. I have this one from Sol de Janeiro. I think it came out last summer. This one is Tan Lines, and it actually is Solar Tuberose, and I think it has a coconut note in here as well. It is super beachy, almost kind of has that suntan lotion type of smell, but this one is a lot more creamy. Like it has that vanilla and coconut note in there. So because of that, I don't think these are the exact same. And the last one that I do have, this one is At the Beach. This one has been around forever, and I do love this scent. There are a bunch of scent notes listed here, but there's toasted coconut, bergamot, and this one to me smells like straight up suntan lotion. I do really like this scent for the summer, and I love layering it with Soleil Blanc. But again, these are not an exact dupe. This one is a little bit different. Tan Lines for sure is the sweetest because it has that creamy, vanilla, coconutty type of note. But this one to me smells a little bit sweet as well. It's still overall like very beachy and fresh. I still think it's different enough from some of the other beachy scents I have in my collection to where I'm still gonna hold on to this one. Okay, the next one I have here, this one, it was one of the ones that I tried in store and immediately I was like, throw it in the cart. I love this scent as soon as I tried it. This one is called Petal Parade, and this one has notes of neroli petals, orange flower, and white woods. Whenever I first sprayed this in store, I immediately thought of Giorgio Armani My Way. Like that's what came to mind whenever I first smelled this. Now going back and smelling them side by side, they do smell really similar, but I don't think they're spot on dupes. But I think if you like My Way, then I think you would like this one. I actually have the mini size of My Way here. This smells so good. I know it's a very basic scent, but it is such a pretty sweet floral. Has almost this like bubble gummy type of note. I think it's the tuberose in here, and that's kind of what got me into tuberose notes to begin with. So I did smell them side by side. I still think My Way is a little bit sweeter, but still, I would definitely say this is a very sweet floral. A lot sweeter than I was expecting based off the notes, because with like neroli petals, orange flower, I thought this was gonna be a lot more almost like a fresh and clean type of scent, but that's not really what it smells like to me. I'm sure there are other perfumes that this would be similar to as well. It's just from what I have in my collection, My Way is one of the first ones I thought of. To me, it just smells more of like a lighter, like sweeter floral perfume. I was trying not to watch a bunch of reviews on this collection. I didn't want it to sway my opinion or anything like that, but I did see that someone had compared it to Good Girl, which I do not have the original Good Girl. I have tried a couple of the flankers. Maybe it's just me, but I don't really think they're super similar. I think if anything, Dahlia from Bath & Body Works is more similar to Good Girl, but that is another perfume that this one is being compared to. I can see this one being a popular one as well, because this is one of those body mists that whenever you're wearing it, people are gonna think you're wearing a perfume. Like this does not smell like your typical body mist at all. It definitely smells a lot more expensive than what it is. Okay, another pink bottle here. This one is called Covered in Roses, and I love rose scents. Rose is one of my favorite floral notes in perfumes, especially a sweet rose. Like a good sweet rose scent is my favorite. So Covered in Roses, this one is ruby berries, sugared rosebuds, and blush amber. So what I think this one is kind of going for is more like Delina, which I don't have the original Delina. I do have a couple dupes of Delina. I have this one from Oil Perfumery. It's this little roller ball that I got. It's hard to say because who knows if this is even an actual dupe for Delina. They are pretty similar. It's a very fresh, rosy scent. You know, I typically like a mixture of rose and vanilla, just more of like something kind of creamy and sweet. Like one of my favorites is Whipped Rose Latte from Bath & Body Works. That's actually really what got me into rose fragrances. So whenever I compare it to something like Whipped Rose Latte, this one, Covered in Roses, is a lot more fresh, like fresh rose petals, a lot more floral, but I do kind of like it. Whenever I compare it to the Delina dupe that I do have, I think I like this Covered in Roses a little bit more. It's just a little bit lighter. The ruby berries and the sugared rose petals just makes it a little bit sweeter. It's still a very fresh floral scent for sure. Because to be honest, whenever I first spray this, I don't really love the scent. I like to give it like a minute or so to dry down. And then after it's fully dried down, I do like this one. There are still other rose scents I have in my collection that I like more than this one, but I still think this one is good. All right, we're almost done here. There's just 3 more left. This next one is You Musk, and I love the bottle on this one. It's almost like this clear nude color. This one has notes of iris, pink pepper, and airy musk. And I already had a feeling of what this one was gonna smell like. I do like more musky perfumes, and there's actually one that is always getting duped that I still haven't tried the original, and that is Glossier You. But I have tried several other dupes, so I kind of have an idea of what that one smells like, and I definitely think this one would be a spot on dupe for Glossier You. It smells very, very similar, very simple on the scent notes, but for sure that airy musk is what stands out the most. So I do have a couple other scents that I think this one smells similar to. I do have this perfume from True Fragrance. This one is called Sandalwood and White Musk. I got this one at Marshall's, and this smells really similar to Glossier You. I really do like this perfume. This one is a little bit more toned down on the musk. I don't know, this is just a softer scent to me. It smells more of like a clean type of skin scent, while the If You Musk, this one is very, very heavy on the musk. But these two layered together, like these two would go together so well. They would really complement each other. Another one that I have, this one is Kaleidoscope. This one I think came out, I don't even know when. It's an older Bath & Body Works scent, and I think even whenever it first came out, a lot of people were comparing it to Glossier You. I wish I had the scent notes. I'm pretty sure I have this in the lotion. I couldn't find it anywhere in my collection, so I don't have the notes right here in front of me. But I think out of all of these, I would almost say they're like repackages. They smell so similar. Yeah, between these two, I think these are basically the same scent. So I think if you do already have Kaleidoscope in your collection, you probably don't need the If You Musk. But if you never got to try Kaleidoscope, now's your chance because they're basically the same exact thing. Okay, this next one, this is one that I kind of went into thinking I wasn't gonna pick up because I've already smelled scents similar to this, and I just personally don't think this type of scent profile works for me. But this one is the Lost in Santal, and I have seen many other fragrances similar to this one. I think usually it's a dupe for the Le Labo Santal. This one has notes of warm cardamom, satin sandalwood, and cedarwood. So very, very woody scent. And from what I've tried with other Le Labo inspired fragrances, it's definitely a more like unisex scent, I would say. Like it's very, very woody, and I do like a woody note in a fragrance, but this one is like next level. I usually like something that's a little bit sweeter, but I decided to grab it anyways. You know, I think out of all the Santal, what is it, Santal 33, I think out of all the inspired ones that I've tried, this one would be the most wearable for me because it's not as strong. It's a much lighter, more like toned down version. I smell a lot of that warm cardamom, and I kind of like it. It reminds me of fall and like blankets, like being snuggled up. That's kind of what it reminds me of. It's just a very cozy scent. So while this isn't one of my favorites, I still don't mind it. You know, I would kind of like this as like a linen scent or like a home fragrance. I just personally, I don't really like wearing it. My boyfriend actually wears this one a lot, so maybe I'll just hand this over to him. I think it's one of the better inspired ones I have tried, only because it is more kind of like a watered down version, you know, it's not as strong. I would layer it with maybe something like Bare Vanilla, or maybe even the new Viva Vanilla. I have to try that combination soon too. Okay, and the last one that I have here, this one is On the Horizon, and even by the packaging, this just looks like it's going to be more of like a fresh aquatic type of scent. This has notes of watery bergamot, blue lotus, and driftwood moss. I don't go for a lot of aquatic scents. I have some in my collection. I pulled out any aquatic scent I have, and I could not find an exact dupe for this one. I don't know exactly what perfume this is supposed to be inspired by. I mean, as you can guess by the notes, it smells exactly how you would think it would. You know, like it's a very fresh, very watery, almost kind of like fresh rain, that out of the shower clean scent. That's what this smells like to me. So, you know, I don't really wear these scents that often, but for it being a fresh scent, it's really not bad. I smell a lot of that watery bergamot. That stands out the most to me. I smell it right whenever you first spray it, and it's there up until the dry down as well. So I wish I had something to compare this to. If anybody knows and has smelled this one before, let me know, because I could not figure it out. And for what I have in my collection, I don't think I have anything similar to this. So that is all 10 of the new scents. I think I have more favorites than ones that I don't really care for. It'd probably be easier to narrow down some of the ones that I'm not too crazy about. I think these here would probably be my bottom 4. There's not really one that I truly dislike. You know, it just kind of depends on your preference and what you like. For me, I like something a little bit sweeter. I like the sweeter florals. These are all pretty much like the more fresh ones. I still like the Getaway Sor, but I know this would be one of those scents that I only pull out during the summer, while a lot of the others I can get away with wearing all year round. So it's not that it's a bad scent, it's just out of the others, that would be one of my least favorites. I'm surprised. I thought I was gonna like this one a little bit more, but the If You Musk, it's almost a little bit too heavy on the musk. I do already have the Sandalwood and White Musk from True Fragrance, and I actually like the scent and the perfume a lot more. And then of course the two that I just went over, not usually the type of scents I go for, so for that reason these are moved towards the bottom. And then pretty much all the rest are ones that I really like and I can see myself using pretty often. So I'm gonna start from like my bottom favorites to my top ones. It's gonna be kind of hard though to put them in specific order. So I'm just gonna kind of go off my first impression. So first I want to mention Covered in Roses. I do like this scent, but there are other rose scents that I prefer over this one. It's just gonna be hard to top Whipped Rose Latte for me. Like that one is just an all-time favorite. Oh, see, this is where it gets kind of hard to put a favorite. I'd maybe put these together. I love the Floral Fantasy because it smells very similar to one of my favorites from Victoria's Secret. And I also really like Petal Parade because it's such like a sweet, pretty floral. And I can definitely see myself using this one a lot. Another favorite of mine is the Oh Cherry. I mean, I love cherry scents, so this automatically kind of bumps it up higher on my list. And even though it's not as sweet as I was expecting it to be, like I said before, it's still a nice addition to my collection. It's a little bit different than the rest of the cherry scents I have in my collection. And just whenever I'm in the mood for something not as sweet, but I want a cherry scent, this is what I'm going to reach for. So that leaves us with Viva Vanilla and Pink Obsessed. I think if I had to choose, the Pink Obsessed would be my favorite because I love Donna Born and Roma and it smells exactly like that. Viva Vanilla still does smell good, it's just different than I was expecting. Either way, I am super happy with this collection. There were definitely more hits than misses for me. And if you guys have tried anything from this collection, definitely let me know your thoughts, what you think they smell similar to, because I know there are probably going to be a lot more comparisons. I'm sure there are even a lot more perfumes that I haven't tried that might smell similar to them as well. And you know, everybody smells things differently, so you might get something totally different from some of these scents than from what they smell like to me. That's just kind of my thoughts, my first impressions on these. I'm definitely going to be playing around with them more. I have worn a couple of them so far. I think just 2 of them I've worn so far. Longevity has been pretty decent, especially for a body mist. They've lasted a few hours on my skin, so I'm still gonna be playing around with them more. And maybe in the future, I'll do like a layering combos video using some of these if you guys wanna see that. That's gonna be it for today's video. If you made it to the end, thank you so much. I just really appreciate you guys watching to the end, hanging out with me, and just taking your time to watch my videos. I really appreciate it. So if you did enjoy it and wanna see more videos like this, just please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps out my channel and helps out my videos whenever you do, so I always appreciate whenever you guys do that. And also, don't forget to subscribe if you have not already. You can turn on your post notifications, that way you get notified whenever I post new videos. I love you guys all so much, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!